Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another Inside Lowell podcast. I am your host, Teddy Panos, coming to you from the WellPoint Studios here in downtown Lowell. At WellPoint, your whole health is their whole point. And we thank our friends at WellPoint for helping to make this podcast possible, all of our Inside Lowell podcasts possible, along with the rest of our podcast sponsors. Of course, our friends at the Washington Savings Bank. Make the switch now to Washington Savings Bank. TMI Properties, quality and value in every unit. Boston North Company, business solutions for restaurant and retail. Mahoney Oil, providing warmth and protection to Greater Lowell since 1925. Francis E. Preventure Insurance, the agency Greater Lowell has counted on for more than 41 years. And our friends at the Massachusetts Pirates, bringing all the hard-hitting action and excitement of arena football to the Tsongas Center. And with that, I want to bring in my special podcast guest today. She is coming to us on the Zoom line from the beautiful city of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, site of the 2024 Republican National Convention. And Mary Burns from Lowell is joining us. Mary, thank you for being here today.
Oh, thanks, Teddy. It's a great day here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Yeah, it's looked like a really interesting convention. It's on my bucket list as a political junkie. I want to, at some point, to get to a convention. I'm not sure either party will have me as a delegate, though. That's where the problem comes in. So, how did you end up becoming a delegate to this convention?
The chairman of the party asked me if I was interested, and he took it from there.
The chairman of the National Party or the Massachusetts Republican Party?
National Party through the state party, through the and the state committee members ratified it.
Okay, and you are a Trump delegate, right? Yes. All right.
We're all kind of Trump delegates.
That's true. I would imagine not too many others were let into the building there. But what exactly do you do? What is the role other than, and they had the big vote on Monday where they formally nominated and put Donald Trump in, and tonight he will make his acceptance of that nomination. But what exactly do you do leading up to it and now for these 4 days or so that you're in Milwaukee?
The biggest thing is they have subcommittees which go and they vote on the platform, the rules committee, the credential committee, the delegate committee, and they do all the work, and then we ratify it the first opening session of the convention, which was Monday. Right. And that's where we formally nominated President Trump and by acclamation JD Vance.
Do you get much say? Is there any debate as a delegate on the platform and other important issues? Or by the time it gets to you guys, it's either an up or down vote, yes, we accept it, or, the boos like the Bernie Sanders folks did back in 2016?
Prior to being here, you do have a say in the platform committee, but it all depends on who is you have the right to talk about the issues, talk about things that are concerning of each of us, and things, whether or not we like what they put forward, something we want to change. We do have the right to talk about it, try to influence change.
Okay.
But most done prior to the opening bell of the convention.
Okay. How, if it was contentious, was the process of putting together the platform this year? Because I have to tell you, I read up a little bit on it and just kind of watching this convention. It's not, your father's GOP platform. It's not your father's GOP convention. This is a really weird thing. I mean, I'm watching labor leaders give arguably the longest speech in a night, and I'm thinking to myself, when the hell did this happen to the Republican Party? Like, when did it change, and how did it change? Is this kind of the Trump footprint on it finally like taking hold? Is this the end of the establishment as we knew it?
The brand new Republican Party. Oops, sorry.
We got you. You're still there.
Okay, sorry. No, this is a brand new Republican Party, and the party of yesterday is gone. This is a new group of people, working class, middle class, black, white, brown, gay, straight, students, seniors, everybody in between. These are people who are fed up with what's been going on in this country for years. And Donald Trump is leading the new movement to bring America back to where it belongs, and that's to the people.
How is the old guard taking it? I mean, they seem, at least publicly, when the TV networks and their cameras are recording at night, they're all nodding in agreement and smiling and clapping. Behind the scenes, did they have to get dragged kicking and screaming? You know, I'm thinking of kind of some of the elders, like the Lindsey Grahams and even the Mitt Romneys, who you personally knew, right?
Yes, but people like Mitch McConnell, it's time. These people are well into their 80s, 90s, years old. It's time to pass the torch.
Mm-hmm.
JD Vance is 39 years old. How great is this to see someone so young on the Republican ticket to bring in a whole new batch of people who are just want to live a good life, have a great job, educate their kids the way they should be, seniors treated right, veterans treated right. And that's what the new Republican Party is all about.
You mentioned JD Vance, who last night officially accepted the nomination to be the party's vice president. I've seen it speculated that that by making him the vice president, that Donald Trump, who, if he wins, only gets one more term anyway, he will leave after 4 years, regardless of what some people want to scare you into thinking. But it says people are speculating that he's basically anointed Vance as the successor, as the person to carry the torch afterwards. Is that kind of the sense there at the convention as well, that come 2028, barring something bizarre, it is going to become JD Vance who's going to carry be the standard bearer for MAGA?
Yes, I believe he will be the standard bearer for MAGA, and it's going to just continue to grow. And having someone so young, and now the work is on rebuilding the House and the Senate, and a lot of these older members, I think it's on both sides. Both sides have to go.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've about term limits. That has to be something that has to start to be discussed.
Is that part of the platform this year? I know it was back in 1994 with the Gingrich Revolution, but then the Republicans had actually controlled Congress for a while and decided, yeah, the term limit's not a great idea anymore.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, if you read the platform took about 4.5 hours to cultivate. They had planned 2.5 days to set up the platform. And it's very, very simple. It's time to become real about the way of the world and who our voters are and who our citizens are. And that's what the National Party is pursuing. It's going to filter down to the Massachusetts Party as well.
I was going to ask you that question, like what is happening in Milwaukee today that might come back to Massachusetts with the party? And there's a lot of optimism there in Milwaukee. Is there any reason to be optimistic if you're a Republican in Massachusetts that you can begin, starting with this fall's elections, to develop some type of presence or at least be a legitimate opposition party?
This is the beginning of rebuilding of the Massachusetts Republican Party, and we will have candidates guaranteed in 2 years for every race we can possibly fill. Mm-hmm. It's time. We cannot let people go unopposed any longer.
Well, that is
it's not good. It's not good for democracy. And yes, Donald Trump will leave in 4 years.
All right. Well, before I leave the platform and actually talk about the speech tonight from the party's nominee, the abortion thing, they're not necessarily talking about it, and I don't know if former President Trump will talk about it tonight, but there was some softening of the language that the Christian conservative wing of the party was kind of not very happy with in the week leading up to it there. Is that something that we're going to hear any type of focus? Do you anticipate any focus on it tonight, or is that something that they're going to just kind of leave alone to not risk alienating the base?
Unless he talks about it, it's just something that's going to be left alone, and it's in the platform, and it's something that he will pursue if he's elected. Mm-hmm. It's a very simple, down-to-earth, easy-to-read platform. Not filled with a lot of language that you need a lawyer to figure out for you.
Mm-hmm. We're chatting with Mary Burns. She is from Lowell, and she is a delegate at the 2024 Republican National Convention. She's joining us on the Zoom line from Milwaukee. So I imagine tonight will be, whenever Donald Trump speaks, it's an enthusiastic crowd. Given what's happened Saturday, I imagine there's a lot of anticipation, and there's a lot of buildup to this speech that dare I say, we might see a kinder, gentler Donald Trump. What Donald Trump are we going to see tonight?
You're going to see a humble, kinder, gentler Donald Trump. But to be honest, that's who Donald Trump is anyway. He was just pegged as the boogeyman, I guess you can say, by the press 8 years ago. And it just wouldn't stop. And I mean, look what they've done to the man. They've tried to bankrupt him. They tried to shoot him. They tried to kill him. It didn't work. Sorry, it just didn't work. He's stronger than anybody I've ever seen in my life.
As much as I agree with a lot of what you just said, there was also part of him that liked the battle. He was more than eager to engage them in a lot of the back and forth volleying. Do you think when push comes to shove, and this is going to get negative, the polls are moving in a direction where they're going to have to come after him, or else they're going to risk a landslide. Do you think he'll be able to rein it in when the real verbal attacks start coming?
As much as he can. He's somebody who loves to battle. He's a New York City real estate developer, and battling his whole career is what he's done and done best. So for him to change his way now is different. But I think Saturday, for anybody to get shot, and he's a millimeter away from not being here. Shocking. It
would have been a completely different discussion that we were having today. And that's what I kind of want to wrap this up on. How did the mood of the convention, or the expectations for it, how did Saturday change that, both kind of from what you're perceiving from others, but also from you? You can't be a Trump supporter and not be affected by what transpired on Saturday. Talk a little bit about how that's changed the atmosphere and the mood down there in Milwaukee, please.
Everybody's talking about it, and I don't think you could be human and not be traumatized by what happened. For anybody to take a shot at a political opponent is, I can't even describe it. I just know that we all should say a prayer that Donald Trump is alive, and pray for the Corey who passed away down in Pennsylvania, because he should be our friend as Corey.
You've been to conventions before, correct?
Yes.
How did the security for this compare to previous ones in light of what happened Saturday?
I first went in 1990. I don't even know if it was 92 or 94.
Oh, right when you turned 18, they let you get out there, right?
It's totally different. It's all fenced in. You can't get through the barriers without police, which there's men and women everywhere from all over the country. Every agency you can think of, they are here. And by the air, by the sea, they're everywhere. It's crazy. But we have no protesters at the Republican convention, which I think is interesting. There's probably 5 or 6 the other day. That's it. And we're not burning things down. We're not looting. We're not breaking people's property. We're just having a nice convention, and people are friendly and kind. And the police are kind of like impressed, as is everybody else, including the media.
And you're getting to sit outside under an umbrella in what looks like a little outdoor diner or a cafe. And it looks like you're having fun, Mary.
We are having a ton of fun.
All right. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to join us today. Hey, good luck tonight. I imagine it's going to be electric in that hall, and I hope you get to enjoy it. And thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Teddy. And I'll bring you home a trinket.
I'm always happy for free gifts. Thanks, Mary.
Welcome. Bye.
All right, that is Mary Burns from Lowell, Massachusetts, well-known member of the Republican Party here in Massachusetts, but especially in Lowell, joining us from Milwaukee. We thank Mary, and we thank you for joining us here on this latest Inside Lowell podcast. As we like to say, Inside Lowell. If Lowell is your home, this is your place. Till next time, stay safe, everybody.